everybody, and happy hump day. Welcome to Machtails from the Cantina Live. I've lost track on what show number this is, but let's just say there's a lot of them at this point. And I cannot thank my Patreon supporters enough for their financial support because I am not getting paid to do this show. This is all for the passion, my friends. All for the passion. Speaking about passion, I have a good friend that is on the show tonight. It is a part 2 of a conversation that got ended last week. My good friend, Frank D. Rich from Star Wars Autograph News, and me. I don't even have Tyler Page tonight. So we are still flying half a ship, mind you. But anyways, welcome to the show. Happy hump day. We are getting so close to Star Wars Celebration. How close? We're only 15 days away. So damn close. And I'm excited. Hopefully you guys are excited. I'm going to talk to Frank about a lot of the Star Wars autograph news relating to Star Wars Celebration. But hey, you guys know this is a 21 and over show. I have 2 tins, as I always do. Good guys. Those are the Patreon members' names. You guys are going to win a prize all month long. Usually I only do 1 name draw a month. But this month, because it's Star Wars month, I'm doing a name draw every single show. Be sure to tune in tomorrow. I'm going to be talking Celebration 4, 5, and 6 with my good friend Sean Hines. And 7, 8, and 9 Star Wars Celebration with Sean Hines on Friday. So this is a triple week for shows here. Drinking word alert. Only drink if you're 21 and over. Every time you hear the word Bo, you guys are in the clear tonight because we're probably not going to be talking a lot about my brother, Bo Glazer, who was in the Real Fans of the Saga that passed away well before his time. Remember, join us on Patreon. You get really cool swag, like a bottle opener, magnetic. This is legit. This works. This is a one that I'm giving away this month. Sorry to offend you younglings out there, but May 25th is the real Star Wars Day. That's the feels. And you also get a 4-set coaster set. Got this one here, the live one, Inside the Wampa Cave, which is a segment that I do on the show, where I also talk about my collection. And then, of course, the Star Wars Celebration 10 coasters. I'm just showing off some swag here. I know you guys tuning in, you like the Celebration swag. We're going to be talking about the swag on next week's show, the swag crew. But anyways, without further ado, I'm going to bring my good friend on to talk Star Wars autographs. He left us hanging. Frank, you left us hanging, but a little bit by default last week.
I did.
Said, hey, I'm going to show you my favorite Star Wars autograph. And I said, oh, we can squeeze that in on the show. Yeah. And you're like, no, I'm going to save it for next time. So we have to pick up where we left off. Frank, how's your week going, man? How are you getting ready for Celebration?
So ready. And this week has been crazy. Like we had I was recording a monthly show that we did on Monday, just about Celebration autographs. I had my podcast last night, you tonight. We're just in that full-blown getting ready for Celebration mode, getting all the press out, and just tons of news, just for, Chris, I don't know how these other fan sites do it when they're looking at everything that's available for Star Wars. I'm just looking at autographs. It takes up all my time.
Right.
And it's insane. It's just an autograph collecting for Celebration. There's so much going on.
You know, it's funny because I do the show, and it's Machtails is from a personal, it's a point of view show, right?
Yeah.
It's like my experience, my friends, meeting people like you along the way that we share things in common with. That's what the show I do is driven on. But people that are out there with like all these different news sites, I would not be able to keep up with that.
So much. I can't keep up with just the autographs. There's so much.
Yeah, just your
Private
niche is
parties,
hard enough, right?
announcements and convention appearances. It's a good problem to have, but there's a lot out there. It's a great hobby. You know, we love Star Wars, and there's so many ways. Like you can see just in your background. Apparently, you've taken my entire childhood and stuck it behind you because I can see all my happiest memories there. But there's so many ways to express our love for Star Wars, and mine is autograph collecting. I didn't, Star Wars fan first, and I happen to collect autographs. It wasn't the other way around. I collect because I'm a Star Wars fan.
Sure. You collected Star Wars autographs after you established your fandom.
Oh, yeah.
You weren't an autograph collector beforehand. I'm sure, you know what? I can relate to that. I am sure there's at least a couple autographs in your collection that are not Star Wars, right?
Yes. Yeah. It didn't set out. Well, my first couple were hockey. Just
hockey, yeah.
College. A couple of Boston Bruins. And
I was going to guess Bruins, man. I was going to guess Bruins.
Yeah, but then about 2005-ish, I started to collect Star Wars autographs, and for a long time, that's all it was. And then I did start to once you get we call it the sickness. Once you get the sickness, it kind of spreads, and you end up getting it takes over more. But so I do have.
You say sickness. You make it sound so like. Well, I've heard disease.
Yeah.
I've heard habits. I've heard sickness, but it's sickness is just such a. I don't know. It sounds like such a negative word.
It does. It's just what we use. And we say it, of course, talking, lightheartedly.
We say it jokingly, right? Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. But it's. I just really enjoy it, and it's really the friends that you meet, like you, and you become friends with the actors and the other collectors, and it amazes me that some of my best friends live in Amsterdam and London.
Yeah, right.
Because a kid that grew up basically on an island in Massachusetts just loves Star Wars, and because of that, I have all these just friends everywhere because we're all kind of
Well, speaking about friends, my brother Rich Brendel is watching tonight. I don't know if he's necessarily a hardcore autograph collector like you and I, but Rich was just saying the other day, a good friend Tyler Page that operates the controls behind the scenes on this show. So many people have met friends that we call close friends over Star Wars.
Yeah. Yep.
It's amazing, and it just when I did the Walking Dead documentary, I thought it was going to get that a little bit, and people were like, "Oh no, it hasn't been around long enough." And I'm like, does it really have to be around for 20, 30, 40 years to create some kind of sense of community? No, it doesn't. But at the same time, it's not Star Wars, right?
Right. Star Wars is we know it's its own thing. It's just a very special thing, and it's as much it becomes part of your life, especially if you got into it when you were a kid. It doesn't matter if you were a kid in 1977 or 1997 or 2007. It doesn't matter when you're a kid. When you're a kid and you discover Star Wars, and especially now, I mean, where it's more popular than it's ever been, and there's more new projects and so much to do. We're lifelong fans.
It's crazy too because so much time has passed since the first film had come out, and we were there from the beginning, that Star Wars has been a part of our life more than some of our grandparents have. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's been part of our life for so many years.
I've known and loved Star Wars longer than my brother's been alive. It's like things like that.
Yeah.
It's I don't have memories before Star Wars because it was 4 years. I was 4 when it came out. I don't remember anything before Star Wars.
Thank God I was 2 when Star Wars came out. For some reason or another, I do have memories outside of Star Wars, but I do hear a lot of people like yourself that say that they don't remember life without Star Wars.
I grew up to see it. I remember that night in the theater. I remember running around after in the movie theater. 4-year-old kid running around pretending I was a stormtrooper hiding behind the pillars in the theater. Yeah, I remember that night clearly.
It's and it's one of those things that is so impactful on our lives that the memories are very, very vivid, even from that long ago. Well, Frank, I can't have you have us wait any longer. Your favorite autograph. I know it's sitting right there.
I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to say this isn't my favorite, but this is the one that I was about to show you. I said, let me hold off on this particular autograph. I have a few I'm going to show you.
Okay.
This is a special one. I think you'll appreciate it.
Ah, yes. I had a feeling you were going to put. Now, I signed the sweet spot on there.
You sure did.
Something tells me that's what I didn't want to think that you were going to pull out a nice autograph and have it be mine in my film cruise.
I want to say that was from wow, I'm getting old. What was Rebel Force Radio? What was Rebel Force Radio?
The Force Cast. That was yeah.
Celebration 5 at the
yes.
I believe.
Celebrate. You know what? It's funny because I was just doing a Inside the Vault segment for my Patreon members today where I take something from the films and I share it with them. And the reason why I know this clear as day, because I was looking at it half an hour ago, that was Celebration 2006, which was in 2012, that we had filmed The Force Within Us.
All right.
But you know what's funny? Because some of those early celebrations, they do blend together, don't they?
They do. They really do.
It's hard for them not to blend together. But hey, that is a really cool thing that you shared. And it's going to be a little bit of a show and tell Star Wars autographs on here. It's very, very kind that you shared my very own documentary with that. I do want to tell you guys, Patreon members, put the name out of the good guy tin at the end of the show. You guys are going to win a signed, this one is not signed, but you guys are going to win a signed Force Within Us poster created for Celebration 6 by my good friend Kevin Lyle. Be sure to check him out at Norse Legion. Google it. I don't have the website in front of me. Tyler is not here right now. Here we go. NorseLegionStore.com. But you guys are going to win that during the name draw today, as well as a celebration. Frank, I know you're going to be there. Machtails live at Celebration at Unsung Brewing.
Can't wait.
The Sunday that's going to close out the show. I'm looking forward to talking to you at that live show as well to kind of get an idea of how the weekend went for you. But we don't want to talk about past tense because we are not even there yet. Right. Frank, before we move on to autographs, I want to talk to you about 3 things to bring to Celebration. And if you don't mind, I would like to, you go ahead and share. You're the guest. I want you to share first. And some of these might be the same items that I am going to recommend on this show. But what do you have for us? 3 things to bring to Celebration.
So, 3 things I would say. One for me is a power bank for the phone. I'm using my phone all the time. I gotta have the power bank. The worst thing you can do is, if you're depending on that to take your pictures at Celebration, worst thing you can do is have your phone die out on you when you see something really cool. So make sure you have your power bank with you.
Yeah, power bank. Yes, power bank's important.
For autograph collectors, I'll show you what this is. It's called, and I recommend this brand, and I recommend this particular item. It's called a Profolio by Itoya. Okay, this is, so I'm not getting a good.
You got it there. You got it there.
All right. So they're called Profolios. It's just a fancy binder. It doesn't have 3 rings. It's just everything's. The sheets are going to protect your autographs. But if you don't bring something like that with your Celebration and you're picking up autographs, you're like throwing them in top loaders or something even less secure than a top loader, which I just dropped all my top loaders off of that. You don't. So this is a top loader.
Yes.
You don't want to leave your autographs in those for longer than you have to. Meaning it should be very temporary. Like if you're bringing it home that night, you bring out one of those portfolios, you get a bunch of autographs, you stick them right in there, and they're safe. You put them in your backpack.
Oh, so you're saying that you can stick them in those, the portfolios, the first one that you showed, for a long period of time without the ink sticking.
Yeah, this is what I keep my autographs in. So
Okay.
this is Empire Strikes Back #2, and as long you have to keep them like this. Don't stack them on top of each other. Keep them up,
Sure.
because then you're pressing down on the ink.
Yeah, and as you know, like with the silver, not even Sharpie, but the silver ink pen, the ones that they shake, that stuff can stick big time, you know?
Yeah, they can. They're beautiful. You get a paint pen like that. There's nothing like it. They just they're beautiful, bold autographs. But
Yes.
Celebration, you don't have time to let it dry.
Right.
You know, if you had the time and you're sitting down and you don't know if that pen, you shake it up, if the handle is going to shake it up, and then they can pull, like if they put the pen to the paper, the ink can pull out and just ruin your autograph.
Yeah, right.
It's fine if it's an 8x10 off the table, they'll give you a new one. But if it's your poster signed by Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill and 50 other actors, you ain't getting that. That's ruined, right?
Yeah, and if you have it on a poster, like a multi-piece, you got one bad autograph on a poster of 50, right?
Yep. So this,
it's a lousy thing to happen, you know.
So this would be my third recommendation is what I use. This was recommended to me by my co-host Graham Miles, who's been doing this for a very long time. He's recommended several different types of markers. This is the kind that I like. It's called the Permapaque by Sakura. You can get them. Oh, so the portfolios, you can get them at Michael's.
Okay, and Dale Morris from Colorado, another Patreon member and a longtime supporter. He says he loves those. It's great for the 11x17 art as well.
Yeah. So I made sure for my convention backpack is big enough to hold a 17-inch laptop for that very reason that he just said, because it's going to take. Yeah, I collect mostly 8x10s, but if you get in a larger print at Celebration, you pop it in there and you're all set. So as long as and then it fits right in the backpack.
So the actors with the ink pen, do they not have those available at the table?
They might. So
they might. Okay.
They could. Especially now, you see it's more common than it was in the past. Some to have nicer pens available on the table. I suspect we will. But for me, there's a lot of autographs to get outside of at Celebration, outside of Autograph Hall, including like Chicago. I'm walking through the Starbucks, before the show, and Jim Swearingen was there from Kenna.
Yeah, I just met him at ICC-Con.
Yeah, so I knew he was going to be there, so I had an 8x10 ready for him just in case. And hey, do you mind signing this? And I had my pen ready. So I always have. This is my third for autograph collecting. This Autograph Hall was fantastic, and there's nothing like a Celebration Autograph Hall for us who collect Star Wars autographs. But if you're only collecting at Autograph Hall, you're missing out on a lot of great opportunities to add to your collections and really good pieces.
Absolutely. You never know who's going to bump in. Now, okay, so you got the portfolio, you got the ink pen, yep. And you're obviously more specific by brand and whatnot, and then you got the battery yeah. Charger, the
yes.
brick, right?
Yep.
So I want to talk to you organically about this. This is not in my show notes, but when you are at the Starbucks or you're at the bar or restaurant after Celebration, in the old days, it was acceptable to take some photos.
Yep.
And to maybe get an autograph or two. But when these people have agents with the autograph companies, official pics,
Yep.
epic photos, epic photo ops for the photos, do you cross the line and try to get
I
these
do.
actors, or what? How do you handle that
So,
situation?
so keep in mind, I'm coming from 10 years of Star Wars Autograph News. I have a podcast, the website,
Absolutely.
and I have a professional. I'm a fan site too, just like everybody else. But it's try to be professional. So you might be in a different situation. How I look at it is if that actor has a contract with Celebration to sign, and I ask them to sign outside of their time on the floor at Autograph Hall, I'm putting them in an uncomfortable position because
Okay.
most of them will say, "Well, if I sign for you, I have to sign for everybody." And how is
Right.
that not fair? And a lot of them will, yeah, I've seen it because I don't do it, but I've seen them like you can see how uncomfortable they are. And they're like, I want to, but it's
Yeah.
not here because people are paying $40 to get my autograph from the show. So like
Right. Right.
Jim Swearingen, anybody that's not in Autograph Hall, anybody who's not charging for their autograph, though, unless they're with their family and they're in the middle of a meal, which I avoid that too. Jim was kind of just sitting relaxing. I don't bother them if they're eating, if they're with their kids or anything like that. If it looks like they're having family time. But if you're at
Sure.
Celebration and you're in a public area, and to some extent they're going to expect it, but there are some lines. But if they're not, so panels, and there's some great panels in Celebration, some amazing names that are going to be, Dennis Murin and Doug Chang and just legends who are going to be at Celebration. Often they might sign for you after the panel is done. Or
Yes. Yes.
I saw John Knoll in Chicago just walking through. Hey, could I get a photo with you? Again, if they're not charging for their photo, they're not charging for their autograph. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I am on the same page with you when it comes to that. It's like, yeah, I totally get that. And I approach it the same way. And one thing I do not like, it's a personal side of me, I do not like rejection. And the last thing I want to do is be rejected by somebody that I admire and I love. And like, hey, nah, I'm not going to sign that for you. Come and see me at the table on the convention floor. I am there from 10 to 6.
Right.
But hey, let's talk about aside from Star Wars Celebration official picks area on the convention floor. They've also announced, which I'm excited about. This is brand new. The after hours signing.
Yeah.
And
I think we're going to get more news about that, I believe, tomorrow.
More news coming out on that tomorrow, and you're gonna release that news first and foremost because that is what you guys cover.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We'll be, and Ben was nice enough. Ben Stevens, the owner of Official Picks, was nice enough to say tomorrow at 12:30 Pacific time, whatever. I know it's 3:30 my time in Boston. They're gonna release the news. For me, that makes it nice. I know it's nice because usually you don't know when they're gonna release the news. For a while, we were getting updates every Thursday. That was great, and then they kind of got away from that. But tomorrow at 3:30 Boston time, East Coast time, there's going to be a cool announcement from Official Picks and StarWars.com. But what you're referring to, so on Sunday night, Official Picks did release something called After Hours, and they said it would be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, from 6 to 10. And I talked to Ben Stevens about that. I said, I saw that you put this out and that was gone. Should I report on this or not? He said, hold off. We're going to do a different. There'll be a more formal announcement coming. So it's on its way, and I suspect it's tomorrow at 3:30. Who knows? But
and we don't know where these are going to be at.
It said it would be in the Hyatt. I believe it's at the Hyatt.
Okay, so it's going to be in the hotel, but which is exciting. And last episode that I had you on last week talked about I talked to Mike Quinn. Mike Quinn talked to Ben Stevens, and he's like, "Hey, there's a limitation of how many people we can have here." I know I talked to you about this. This kind of resolves that issue. So this after hours signing that they're going to do is going to be most likely people that are not signing on the floor.
Yeah, that's my understanding, that at least the vast majority of the people that will be doing this, there will be no overlap. There might be one or two.
Sure.
As people sell out, that might make them a candidate for the after hours thing. We'll see. That speculation on my part, but they were limited. They have a very small space that for signing.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of factors involved with that. It wasn't official pick said we're only having this number and that's it. There's a lot of other things at play, and they're not. And there's a lot of people that contribute into who's going to, which guests come, and some of that comes from Lucasfilm. They are involved.
I feel like, going back to Celebration 2, or going back in time to Celebration 2, I should say.
I wish I could.
Celebration 1, there were the signers at Celebration 1. I want to share this with you. I had, what, do I have it? Yes, I do have it somewhere. I have a stack of autographs that I want to share with everybody today. This one was a cool one because I got this from Ahmed Best at the Celebration stage at Celebration 1. And this was a special one because Jar Jar was a big part of the anticipation for episode 1.
Yep.
And he did not sign, as you know, for a long time.
Yeah. For a long time, he had and it's still not, he's done Celebration now. He did a show overseas, I believe, but he's still not done a lot of signings. So that's still
he's a rare signer.
More out there now because of Chicago, but not a ton. So that's still a rare. And so when we're looking at autographs, the closer you get to them signing it when the project came out, the more desirable the autograph. So a good example would be Jake Lloyd, who signed as a child in 1999. If he signed some autographs as a young boy, those would be more desirable than when he signed at Celebration 5 in 2010. Not that it's better, but that's that was when he signed it at the point where he was closest to when he was in the film, and you'll see that will be that type of autograph might, if you're worried about have any concern with value of autographs, that plays a part.
Well, which is kind of funny because, like Ahmed Best, Jake Lloyd did not sign until later. He didn't sign at Star Wars Celebration 1. And again, Ewan McGregor, we talked about this on the last show you were on. He's making his first Celebration appearance. Yep. And I don't recall ever paying that much for a photo or an auto. He might hold the record for most expensive cost in obtaining.
He does, but let me tell you, it's not by as much as you think it is. Because in Orlando, Mark Hamill was $250.
Mark Hamill was $250 in Orlando.
Yeah. Keep in mind, so one thing that's important to know about Mark Hamill's autograph, from his first Celebration, I gotta plug this. Actually, can I put something in the chat?
Oh, you can, yeah. You can put something in the chat.
I want to share this with people if they haven't seen it already. This is a piece I wrote back in 2015 that I've been updating since. You would go
to the comments. There you go.
Yeah, so it's called Then and Now, and it lists every act. Oh, it didn't go through. We'll see. It lists every actor who's appeared in Autograph Hall at every celebration and how much they charged at every celebration. So Mark Hamill, his first celebration, I think it might have been Japan, but pretty much from his first one until
it was Japan. I do know that.
Okay, so until Anaheim. So from Japan was like 2008 until 2015, I think he attended every celebration and he stayed at $125 that entire time. That's a lot of celebrations for Mark Hamill to be $125, which was always the most expensive autograph at Celebration.
Wow.
Then,
which is crazy. I gotta share. I gotta share this with you because every time I hear this story, I get so giddy about my experience of meeting him. Man, I was in the right place at the right time, and I got this for free.
Oh, nice.
And but we and the experience around it and the memory around it are, you know what, that's the thing about Star Wars autograph collecting, right?
Yeah.
It's not just a signature. No. It's the relationships, it's the story, the experience, all that stuff plays into it, you know?
100%. I'm going to show you one of my celebration stories, autographs. So Carrie Fisher from Anaheim. So she only did one other celebration after that in London, the second London. My daughter, she's now 14. So that was 2015. I never, ever wanted to push Star Wars on her. I figured there's enough Star Wars around here. When she's ready, she'll come to me.
Right. That's how I feel about mine.
and before that celebration, she came up to me. She said, "Daddy, are you going to see Princess Leia when you go to California?" I said, "Yeah, I am." She said, "Do you think I could get her autograph?" It's like, "Oh, honey, yeah, you can get her autograph." So, and
your heart knows, you know.
Yeah, and that led to us watching. She had never seen the films, so we did. We had to wait 3 years in between movies. I made her wait a month. So every month leading up to that celebration in Anaheim, we watched. No, I'm sorry. Every month when I got back until The Force Awakens came out, we watched a new film, one after another, and then we went to see The Force Awakens together. Well, when I met Carrie that time, and that's the last time I saw her, unfortunately. I was supposed to see her in Boston at Harvard University, just before she passed, and I actually got rushed to the hospital, and I wasn't able to meet her, and then obviously she passed. But anyway, so at that celebration, she grabs me, and she says, "Oh, look, he's crying." Chris, I don't know if I was crying. I might have been. I don't think I was, but she said I was, so I was. She grabs my hand and she writes on it. She writes CF on my hand. And the only reason why you can't see it now is because I'm a sign language interpreter and I had to. Otherwise, it would have been tattooed right there.
Yeah, right.
Would I have gotten her autograph if my daughter didn't ask for it? I don't know. I have a bunch. I might not have, but because my daughter asked for it, I got not only that autograph and a beautiful autograph, but she signed my hand, and we had that interaction. She was always just made you feel.
Yeah. And it wasn't, I felt like, too, when she first appeared, I want to say her first Star Wars celebration that she appeared at might have been, was it? I think it was Celebration 2, 20 years ago.
I can tell you. Celebration 2. Yeah, because she was at Celebration 2. And there wasn't an autograph.
$50 tops, $50 tops. I might even say it was like $30.
So autograph tickets cost $12 each, 15 through the pull service, or 10 for 100. So
and hers was still the same price.
So how many I don't know how many tickets she needed for Carrie. I wasn't there.
It was one. It was one.
So she was $12.
Thank God for Ben Stevens and Philip Wise, but that is literally a true story. The thing that threw me off, I ended up getting her autograph, but not there. And yeah, everybody was $12. It was like a communist style. It's like everybody's the same price. Everybody's working for the same amount of money, no matter if you're
Princess Leia or a stormtrooper. You're all
exactly. And I shit you not. The thing that turned me off, or turned me away, I should say, not turned me off, but the line for her was like 12 hours long.
Oh yeah.
So you paid $1 per hour, right? To stand it was 12 hours, which is now priceless to think of her at that price. And at the same time, back then, it was probably an intimate, reaction. It wasn't like now, I hate to say it, but Ewan McGregor is going to sign. Okay, I got 5,000 other people behind you that paid a lot of money. I need to get to all these people, right?
Absolutely. You have to remember, you're not paying for a meet and greet. You're paying for an autograph.
You know what? That is the best words of advice that anybody can share for their experience.
Anything that you get out of that interaction, anything, eye contact, a smile, a hello, how are you, how's your show, everything that you get in addition to that scribble on the piece of paper, bonus.
It's a bonus, yeah, because you're not paying for the meet and greet. You're right.
The last time I saw Mark Hamill at New York Comic Con, he was signing so much, so fast, didn't even look at me. It was just that. And again, so I say it, and like you said, you say it to help people to keep their expectations in check. It's not like, because we were talking to our friends, I'm going to Celebration, I'm going to meet Ewan McGregor. Well, you're going to be in front of him when he signs your photo, for sure, right?
Yeah, right.
Say hi, at Celebration, more likely than not, you're going to leave with, and that autograph is going to be a memento of this wonderful, beautiful interaction, even brief, that you had with that signer. And I'm not worried about people, you just have to be prepared. Like if they have very little time to make all that money back that they're paying Ewan to be at the show. Right?
Yeah.
Ewan's he's not looking at the end of the day, okay, how much money am I getting because of the autographs that I signed? He's been paid. Right? He's been paid a truckload of money. And the show has to try to get that money back on the however many hours a day they can kind of average on ticket sales. And that's it. So if he spends more than 30 seconds to 45 seconds with each person, there's people at the end, he's going to have to stay late. If he can, he might not be able to, or people are going to be looking for refunds because he's going to be gone. So
right.
It's not as like you. It's like they want to get everybody's piece signed.
Yeah, right. And there's so many people. I want to share this with you. Now, my favorite movie, obviously, and we know Rogue One's coming, but this right here with Felicity Jones.
Yep.
And the funny thing is, I kind of have like this creepy fanboy look on my face, and you can tell that she's smiling, but she's like, this guy next to me is like really happy to see me. And I got her autograph, but I got it through the Tops.
Yep.
The Top store with the hologram there. I call that the MLB hologram.
Yep.
But meeting her, the fact that she looked at me, it was, like you said, an honor and a privilege and a bonus. But when I met Riz Ahmed and Forrest Whitaker, I felt like they were more personal. Now, it does have a lot to do with the actors, but this is the tip that I want to give to you guys. If there's somebody that you think that you want to meet or see, don't wait on it, because you never know if they're going to be at the next celebration, and you never know when it's going to be their last, like Carrie Fisher. Right. We talked about, people pass away all the time. The voice of Akbar, I got his because he was like $20, and I looked at the guy, and he was older. Yeah. And he passed away shortly after that. So, again, one of my favorite autographs, Bruce Bola. Celebration 2. I think it might have been his only Celebration appeance. He passed away, obviously.
Celebration,
priceless, right?
Huh?
They're priceless, especially after they pass away. It's like...
This is why I love Celebration 2 so much, and why when I get my time machine, that's the first place I'm going. That was the first and only Celebration appearance for Bruce Boa, Phil Brown, Uncle Owen, Peter Diamond, John Hollis, and William Hookins. All of them passed away before the next celebration.
Before the next celebration. Well, and I have all those guys. And Bruce Boa was the last one that I needed. All the other guys I was fortunate enough to get beforehand, but So Frank, I want to ask you, because a lot of people tuning in tonight, they love autographs, or they're interested in the autographs. I know people like show producer Matthew Rooney, he's probably wondering what's the obsession with the autographs. I go back to your terminology, the sickness. It's like once I got the first 4 from the Men Behind the Mask tour in 1997,
Yep.
I was like, I need them all now.
So for me, a lot of it goes to just look behind you, because that was my first, I never collected Kenner figures. I bought them and I played with them, right? But that was really my first, and I wanted all of them. Of course, I didn't get all. I guess I had most of them. I was fortunate in that regard. But I also collected hockey cards when I was a kid. Worked at an animal shelter, get my paycheck. I go to the store and buy packs of hockey cards. And when you buy, just like baseball cards, trading cards, you want to get a complete set. And with autograph collecting, there is a piece of that. Or there was certainly back in the day. You cannot be a completist now. There's far too many projects. When it was 3 movies, 6 movies, you could try. You can't get everybody now. You could try. Don't let me stop you. Try for sure. But there's so many projects now to keep up. It's hard for us to keep up with them because there's just so much. But that's what it is. You get one, or also when you can get them in person. Meeting them. What's for me still, like I'll get, like John Morton calls me. I'll think, where's the Dak figure, the Boba Fett of the Dak figure or whatever. It's like, I watched you on TV when I was a kid. I played with the figure, and now you're on my phone. Things like that. It amazes me because I'm still a kid at heart. So the more you get, the more stories you get, the more you interact with them, the more you make friends and learn about the hobby and find ways to do it better. And the way I collect now isn't the same as I collected 3 years ago, and it's not the same as 8 years ago. It changes over time, and your focus changes. It's a beautiful hobby, and there's no wrong way to do it. There's only ways that maybe you can do it better and avoid mistakes. And see, here's my favorite mistake that I made. Not a mistake, but at Celebration 5, they had Toby Philpott and Mike Edmonds and a bunch of people John Coppinger, a bunch of people that worked on Jabba the Hutt. So I had an 8x10. And I said, wouldn't it be great to get all these people on it? First of all, if you're going to do a multi-piece, don't do it on 8x10. That's one or 2 people. And they all said to Frank. So I had this Jabba picture, all personalized. Everyone personalized it. And so there's like, I don't know how many signatures are on it, and they're all personalized. So I was like, if I did that now, it would be an 11x14. They wouldn't have personalized it. And, so it wasn't wrong. It's just, I wouldn't do it that way now. And you learn.
Yeah.
That's part of the fun is learning.
I wanted to ask you that too. Like, do you get everything personalized?
I stopped. I did for a long time. I did, and there's nothing wrong. That's 100% personal choice. Sometimes they'll say, if you do that shows that you're a novice collector. You collect however it is that you want. If you want your name on it, get your name on it. Where it comes into play is resale value. And for me, it's a concern, but not in the way you would think. As like I said last week, in July, I'm going to be 50. I'm getting old, or older.
Older.
And someday, and I know one thing I know for sure is I can't bring these with me. When it's all done, I can't bring them with me. That means they're going to go to my daughter, and she might want to keep them. She's probably not going to want to keep them. So I want her to be able to.
She'll keep the Carrie Fisher one.
She'll keep the Carrie Fisher one. But so I don't, because it's going to then at this point now it's going to be easier for her when I die to sell. Is that morbid? I don't mean to come out to your show and be.
No. You know what?
That's why I don't get them personalized, because it's going to make it easier for my daughter to sell them when I'm gone.
You know what? No, it's not morbid at all. I can relate to that. And it's funny because I have a lot of Patreon members watching the show tonight, and they know that this is the kind of stuff that I talk about on the podcast. It's like, I'm actually a podcast episode coming up in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be all about death and Star Wars. Talk about morbid, but there's been a lot of Star Wars has done such a good job like remember when you Sesame Street as a kid, Mr. Hooper dies.
Oh yeah.
Sesame Street taught children about people dying.
Yep.
When I was a teenager and I wanted to learn more about, growing up without my father who died when I was 7, Star Wars kind of was about that to me, It's about loss and redemption, and it even got more heavy as the years went on. I mean, obviously, Rogue One, everybody dies,
Yeah. My other Mr. Hooper, Dak dying in Empire Strikes Back had a when he's out.
Yeah, you get stopped by the airhead.
1980, so what, 7 years old. That Ben dying in A New Hope didn't affect me. One, because he was older, and then he was still talking. He was still around, even though he died. But Dak getting killed in the beginning of Empire Strikes Back had a profound impact on me, because that was like, it's a young guy. He's got to take on the whole empire himself. He was so full of life, and then 1 second he's gone.
Yeah, and then he's gone, right?
That did have an impact on me. I told John that. It's like, you dying really messed me up.
I can see that. I can see. One of the death scenes. We might as well continue this conversation about death. We'll wrap up the topic with this. But I remember when I was watching Return of the Jedi, as when I was 17 years old, and when Yoda died, and Luke going, "How can I go on?" and that John Williams music playing in the background. That was some heavy stuff, man.
It was, absolutely, yeah. So, I mean, that's part of it. It's Star Wars. It covers birth and life and death and everything in between.
It really does, man. It really does.
Sure.
It covers betrayal. It covers friendships. I think, and it does it in such a short amount of films. Even though there's a lot of films now, I mean, all that stuff was done in the original trilogy alone.
That's why it's loved.
How do you feel about? Before I ask you this question, it sounds like Celebration 2 would have been your favorite Star Wars Celebration lineup. Is that a fair statement?
Absolutely, 100%. I talk about it all the time on my podcast. Like Time Machine, first place, Celebration 2.
It's not 1980. It's not 1983.
Buy them all.
It's going to be right to 2002, which is crazy because it's the 20-year anniversary of that now,
Right.
How do you feel about the autograph prices now, especially because you've been following it for a long time?
Yeah.
It seems to be extreme. And hey, don't worry about the dog in the background. Another thing about the show, we love dogs on Machtails from the Cantina.
That's Bella Luna, and she's a border collie black lab mix, and she's been a part of the Star Wars Autograph News podcast since 2013. She's always makes an appearance.
Since a puppy, right?
Oh no, now she was a puppy back then.
She was a puppy back then too. Yeah. Hey, we're giving her a little time on tonight's show.
Now it's going to go to her head. She's going to want to sign on.
She's going to want to be on the next show. So how do you feel about the prices, man? I mean,
I broke down the prices. We have 28 signers in Autograph Hall. And we have, I'm just going to pull something up for myself real quick. Of that, so we have 28 signers. 13 of those signers are under $60. 15 of the signers are over $60. The lowest price is $40. The highest price, of course, is $299. But in reality, that's just, Ewan is the outlier. It's $140 is the highest. So we're talking $40 to $140 because you can't get Ewan now anyway. He's all sold out. $40. I have to be honest. I did not expect $40 to be the lowest priced autograph this time. I was sure it would be $50 or $60, given the way things are. $40 is Mark Von Olen, who was the brand manager for Star Wars Authentics. We would always joke. He said, 40 is the new 20, because for the longest time, $20 for that, third stormtrooper from the right, $20. Yeah. That's the least expensive autograph you can expect, especially at Celebration, since like C3. Before C3 and before, you could get $10 autographs and less, but my time has been mostly $20. So I really thought at this point the lowest was going to be $60. So that the fact that we have $40 and $50 autographs in addition to the $60 is fantastic, and it's almost balanced. 60 is my arbitrary cutoff point in between, as to what's a very reasonable autograph price to then we start to get a little more. Um, it's so in that regard, the $40 that there's that many autographs below 60, I really like. I love that Billy Lord and Kelly Marie Tran are $70 for those two.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, they're rare. They're both making their celebration debuts. Fairly, meaty parts in both in the sequel trilogy. $70 is a fantastic price for them.
I think it is. I think it is because if you look at their other bodies of work, I would think that they would be probably $100 or more.
Yep.
Now I do realize that on the convention circuit for the summer, that there are a couple people, Carl Weathers, for example, he might be a little cheaper in Chicago, but I do feel like there's more hands in the pot at Celebration that might increase that price.
We call it the celebration tax.
Celebration tax. There's a word for that.
There's a couple things. In one respect, so like let's take it. So Chicago. Let's say Rhode Island Comic Con. That's not too far from me. A lot of the actors are going to be there, and they're going to be less. So Rhode Island Comic Con is obviously they're going to have a lot more than just Star Wars guests. Thankfully, the owner, Steve, loves Star Wars, so he gets me Star Wars guests. He always has a great lineup. But Celebration is depending on Star Wars guests, right? So an agent's able to get more money for their clients because they know that they need them? Probably. Does that cost, get put back on us? Probably. Right. So to me, it makes sense. It's the Celebration they don't need, Star Trek and Stranger Things or anything else like the other conventions can get whoever. At the same time, especially this one was a very limited amount of spots, so they had to be really, pick and choose who they could have. Yeah, it's you're almost always going to be able to get an autograph cheaper than at your local convention than you can at Celebration. Except these $40 ones you're probably going to pay around that at your local show. Maybe a little bit less, but $40 no matter what is a good price for an autograph these days. I know that sounds rough, but.
Well, no, I mean it's kind of like a concert shirt. Remember we used to go to the first concerts? They were $20. Now they're $40.
Right now you can't.
It's kind of doubled as time has increased by 20 years.
I was gonna say, if you look at that piece that I put in the thing, you'll see some of the actors are the same exact price as they were in Chicago, and some have doubled, and some have more than doubled.
You know what? Rich Brendel did say that the link works. So thank you for sharing that with us. I do want to talk to you about the Boonta Eve Cantina. That's what I'm calling it. Is it the Boonta Eve Classic or the Boonta Eve Cantina?
I think it's the Cantina. I think we're calling it the Cantina.
Oh,
so we had a cease and desist. It used to be called something else that sounded like
Forcella. It was called Forcella for a long time.
And those people didn't like that at all. They sent us a letter saying you got to stop. So now it's Boonta Eve.
But it wasn't Coachella. It was Forcella. There's no
copyright on Cella.
It is what it is. But hey, that is going to be a great event. That is on May 25th. For those of you that do like Star Wars autograph collecting, that is definitely an event to check out. It is free. Some people don't have the coin or the cash to drop on the Rebel Force Radio bash that is that night. I myself am going to be at both because I want to get some of those autographs. Now, I'm not going to be there both at the same time. I don't have special magical powers. I don't have a force power that can split me in half. But I am going to go to the Boonta Eve Cantina first and then make my way over to the Rebel Force Radio bash.
Fantastic.
There are some great signers there.
Yeah, names, and we've talked with Ben Stevens from Official Picks and really kind of worked things out. So we're having a signing and Kevin Lyle. So I didn't say this before, but Kevin Lyle designed the logo for Star Wars Autograph News way back when. I love it. And I just ordered some things from his site last week. He He had a sale for May the 4th. I bought like a bunch of pins and shirts and stuff.
And again, I've plugged Kevin's show, not Kevin's show. I plugged Kevin's store at the beginning of the show, and of course, not only did he design the Star Wars Autograph News, but he designed the Tusken Ewok. And yes, Kevin, I will be at the RFR Bash. I promise you that. I did buy a ticket for that. I was not on the elite list like some of you guys. I bought myself a birthday ticket.
This is my first one I'm missing. I think this is the first celebration one that I'm missing. I'm not going to RFI because I'm going to be at. We happen to be on the same night, and
it's conflicting. It's definitely conflicting. I do believe those events are both for. They have a lot to offer. It's going to be hard to. I could probably start the party at the Boonta Eve Cantina, go to RFR, and then make my way back to the Boonta Eve Cantina, because I have a feeling that one's going to be going on late as well.
Yeah, because we have the karaoke. So early in the day, so we're going to open things up at 4. We're going to have some actors there, including Sam Aline, who was credited as the first female stormtrooper. She's going to be there. Ben Stevens has allowed her to be there, and Ben, and we work things out. We talked to official picks. She's going to be there, and
Kevin's got the inside scoop, as he usually does. He said there's going to be one more signer coming. Let's hope and pray it's Diego Luna.
There's only 3 signers from the standalone films right now.
We need another one.
Yeah,
Pedro Pascal, where the hell is he at, man?
That'd be awesome.
I mean, there's some really good names that I was hoping for. Kevin, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it's one of those guys. Hey, Frank, the signers, are they going to start at 4:00?
Yeah, they said they're going to come by at 4. We'll have so Sam, Tim Donaldson, who was a Jawa when he was a little kid in A New Hope. Dominic Pace was in The Mandalorian. Gecko, I think a lot of people know Dom now. Let's see, Leilani and Ariel Shu, they played Jawas in Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett. And Eric Walker from the Ewok.
Yeah, Eric Walker, yeah.
And then we have 3 authors who will be there. Craig Miller will be there signing his book. Kevin Thompson and his wife Tracy, who they have a book about Kevin's work on Return of the Jedi. If you guys haven't met Kevin yet, you're going to meet him. He's going to be signing at Celebration all 4 days.
Yeah, I know he's on the roster for sure.
And he's also our MC for the night. So because after the autographs, that beginning part where we have time to be with the actors. At 8:00, that's going to go until about 7. Then at 8:00, we have the karaoke competition. And I went to my first one in Chicago. This event was my first time as I had been an admin behind the scenes. I was helping the group at the time, and I was there. And I think I did karaoke once one night, and I was really drunk. And so it was my first time doing, seeing karaoke done, and I had a blast. It was such a fun night, and
everybody that has been there has said it's been nothing but a fun time. Now, here's the thing. Misty Rosas, she's going to be there. Is she signing?
She's not down as a signer, no. She's going to be one of the judges for the karaoke.
So you're going to want to have that silver ink pen that you show.
yeah, it's one of those things that if she does, obviously when she's judging, she's going to be focused and listening to each singer.
Right. You never know. You never know. Now, I want to know, too, like the people that are signing at the Boonta Eve Cantina, are they going to be part of this official picks news that we're getting tomorrow?
Maybe.
Who knows?
I
hope not. It would be nice if you guys had exclusive signers.
Like I said, it's celebration is.
It's evolving.
We're going to have a lot of people, right? It'll be a good crowd, right?
Yeah.
But any of these signers would. All of them would, just like everybody else, they need to earn some money too, and if they can do both, and they can earn money at hours, and they can earn money and meet fans, because a lot of them it's obviously about the money too. But meeting
Right.
the fans, like Samantha Aline, she cannot wait to meet the fans. She cannot. That is a huge piece
And
of her.
and she's the first female stormtrooper.
First female stormtrooper. She's a lot of different roles. And I've talked to her a few times. I got to know her. The first time I talked to her, I felt it was like we knew each other forever. She's wonderful.
She's
So
probably a
if any of them,
fangirl at heart,
yeah. If what?
She's probably a fangirl at heart, one of us.
Yeah, I definitely got that. I was always, I think it was at Chicago. There was maybe somebody told a story about there was a little girl at school, and playing Star Wars. She said, "I want to be a stormtrooper," and the boy said, "You can't be a stormtrooper. You're a girl." And she said, "Yes, I can." Sam, that she's a real stormtrooper. So if she's a stormtrooper, I can be a stormtrooper.
Yeah, right,
Love
right.
it. Absolutely love it. So yeah, so for me, if they can meet more fans, make more money, I'm not about exclusive anything. And I can't, it's again, this is if if to be blunt, if the powers that be did not want them at Boonta Eve, they would not be.
Right.
So
They
I
would not be
I
there.
am very respectful of that. And I would just be more than I would be thrilled for any of them if they do get to do any other type of event affiliated with Celebration. It helps them financially, helps them with sometimes even with credentials. They can say they've been a guest at a Star Wars Celebration. So I would just
Sure. I
happy.
think it's Lucasfilm, if you will, kind of giving back to the people that were part of their productions and saying, "Hey, we want to." It's just like going to a Chicago Cubs convention too. It's like, you go. The former players are there. Once you're part of the family, you're part of the family. They want you to be part of the events. They want you to meet the fans. They want you to make a little extra money as well, because let's face it, Star Wars made a lot of money, and the third Jabba from the left probably made minimal amount of money on that day, So it's like, this is a good way for them to kind of,
It is.
get involved.
Official Picks has done so many. They haven't done every autograph hall. Obviously, they didn't do the two top shows, and they didn't do at least one of maybe one or two of the ones overseas. But they have, as you can imagine, they have a family of signers. People that they've developed relationships with over the years. That if they had their way, I would imagine they'd want all of them. You can only work with the space that you have, and you can only work. You're also working. It's not just Official Picks in a vacuum. They have to take, Lucasfilm is involved in who's going to be there, what projects need to be. Look what's the current animated series is Bad Batch. We know we're getting a season 2 at some point, right? And D. Bradley Baker, Michelle Ang. Now, if you're an autograph collector, you could start and end a Bad Batch piece with just those two. Dee's all for the Bad Batch. She's Omega. You can have a really good piece, start it and end it right at Celebration. Most of the people that, I kind of, in my circles, they're not going to stop at just those two, but you'd have a great piece right there, because those are the two big names from the show. So Celebration delivers. It's the current project, and for animation, and they have, I think, from Disney Plus shows between Kenobi, Book of Boba Fett, and Mandalorian, I think there's 14 signers that are in those various shows. So that's a fairly good, out of 28. That's a pretty good number.
I do want to bring up something, and you know what? Forgive me, Tyler Page is not helping me out behind the scenes here. I'm kind of flying half the ship myself. But I remember reading on Don, I see his name is Don Bees. People might say Buys. But on Don's Twitter account, a couple of weeks ago, he mentioned that there was a Tusken Raider, and you probably know this news, from the original Star Wars movie, and he's going through a really, really tough time financially, and he put a link to this fundraiser website, and this is a really good way to help out somebody in need.
Yes.
This is a struggling actor. He's about to go homeless, and they're raising money for him. I'm going to share this on the Mocktails from the Cantina Facebook page, my personal page, and the Patreon page. But if you donate $30, you get an 8x10 autograph. And it's like, not, you don't want to give to get, but it's like, if you give that money, it's like, why not give the $30 to help this man in need? You know?
Alan Fernandez is
Alan Fernandez. That's right, Fernandez.
Talking about. He did say, he did want to say he has to find a new home, so he's going to be in between. So he I saw him start. He's not going to be homeless, but he is in dire need. He does need help. So absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. Well, so what you just said, Chris, whenever, and this is how I always say it, whenever you can help out somebody, whether it's a charity or a person, and add autographs to your collection at the same time, win-win. It does not get any better than that.
It doesn't, man.
So I just, I'm very proud to be a sponsor of a show that happens in the UK every year called Star Wars Fan Fun Day. I've been sponsoring it for the last couple of years. I attended.
That's a great event, man.
Great show. The guys that run it, Neil and Paul, two great friends, two great guys. It all goes to benefit a hospice that Neil was had a connection with, or has a connection with. And so for me, that's, you're helping people. You're getting autographs. It really doesn't get any better, Chris.
Yeah, and my good friend John Laurie, he just went to. He's actually sending me some autographs as a gift, and I'm like, that wasn't necessary. No. He's like, I know you collect autographs. I was at Star Wars Fan Fun Day, and I'm like, man, I want to make it out there one of these days. They have a dinner the night before with the actors.
Fantastic. I had Dave Prowse at my table the year I went. It was unbelievable.
So you actually made it out to one of those.
Yeah. I went to, so this was 2012. It was my first trip to the UK. On Friday night, I went to a Comic-Con in Barcelona, Spain. And Saturday, I was at Elstree Empire Day at Elstree Studios. They had a convention there.
Yes, I remember that.
Unreal, amazing. And then I made it out to Burnley for the Star Wars Fan Fun Day. So Sunday night was the dinner. That's where I sat with Dave Prowse was at our table, and Monday was the show, the convention. Just an unbelievable. And I was supposed to do one more show in Ireland that Sunday during the day, and I got sick. I was like, I'm not going. I'm staying in the hotel. I got to recover, and then so I was even supposed to do one more show than what I did. Amazing weekend. And that show though. The dinner with the stars, they call it. There's an actor, or this time there were two actors at some of the tables. And then you're sitting there eating, and you're hanging out with somebody that was in Star Wars. Where else do you get that? It's amazing.
Yeah, and you know what? The cool thing is that a lot of those signers, most of them, over there at that event, unfortunately, it's too big of an expense for them to get over here. And you know what? That sounds like I took the time machine to 2000. Having breakfast next to Kenny Baker at a hotel when I was out there for the first time because of Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
So, Frank, you know what? This is what happens when we get two show hosts on one show talking about what we love. We could talk for hours on this. But hey, before I let you go, my friend, and I appreciate you spending your Wednesday night with us. I'm looking forward to seeing you at Star Wars Celebration. I didn't want to schedule any other guests tonight because I knew we were going to eat up the hour. What is your most one favorite autograph in the collection?
My one favorite. I guess I would say,
one?
if I could pick one. I guess if I had, because they're all tied to memories. So I guess if I had to pick one,
yeah,
then I picked the one that started it all, which was this one.
That's right. You did share that on the last show. That was your
Williams. Yeah, that was my first in-person autograph, Star Wars autograph. Billy D. Williams, 2006 Super Mega Fest. Kevin Lyle was at that show, I believe. I think that's probably where I met. I think that's probably where I met Kevin at that show.
Yeah, I know he designed some patches for Super Mega Fest. You're like the Star Wars autograph philosopher. You've said some really, really good things, very profound things. Like if people look at you or they shake your hand or whatever, That's a bonus. You're not paying for a meet and greet. And how can you pick your favorite autograph? Because they're all connected to stories.
Yeah.
And if you chop out all the other autographs and put one above, it better not be one that you got through the mail.
Right. Yeah, it's like one of my favorite experiences. Like, so that's a Lando, right? My first in-person autograph, Billy D. Williams Lando. That's pretty cool.
Kevin was there. Kevin was there.
But one of my favorite stories, Frank Henson, who's since passed, but he was at Celebration.
Yeah, Frank Henson, the stunt performer, yes.
Yep. I went to his table, and I only went there because he didn't have a line, and I had extra money, and I was like, let's get every autograph I can get. Went to his table. He has a photo album of all the work he's done. He worked for like Sean Connery, and I had like a 15-minute conversation with him. One of the best experiences I've had at a celebration. And the pictures that they had for him, one of them was not him, and that's the one I ended up getting. So I have an autograph of Frank Henson on an image that's not of him. It's still one of my favorite autographs because of that memory.
Because of the memory
of that interaction with him, which I'll never forget. It was so, and because that was your first celebration. If you've only gone to shows, local shows, your first celebration changes the way you collect in a major way, right? You go from 3 or 4 or 5 to like 30, right? And it just changed, and I didn't just want to get just the Billy D. Williams and the Mark Hamills. I wanted everybody, and that's what that celebration did to me. It kind of expanded what I could, how I collected in a huge way.
So, Frank, one more time, man. How do people? You're on Facebook. The news is dropping tomorrow. People will hear this on Rebel Force Radio, theforce.net, rebelscum.com, officialpicks.com, and StarWarsAutographNews.com. Is that the website?
Yeah, StarWarsAutographNews.com. It's all right there. Homepage. There'll be something there. The podcast, the latest podcast, is always right up on the homepage, right in the middle of the page. And we're on Facebook page and a group, and Twitter and Instagram at SW Autograph.
One last thing before I let you guys go. I feel like I've said that 3 times in the last minute. One more thing to bring with the celebration. I know Dale Morris said that the portfolio that you shared, Frank, is good for 11 by 17s, but poster tube. If you buy anything from the artists, maybe they do not have a poster tube. I think it's going to go a long way and be very, very helpful.
I keep one of those in my bag. It's I don't know what size it is, but it's small enough to fit in my backpack. I always have one of those cardboard, because they have the big fancy ones you throw over your shoulder, the poster tubes, like the, heavy duty.
Yeah, plastic. Sure. Yeah, you could always buy that out there.
Those are great, but what you have, if I can put in my backpack, all the better. And most of the prints you'll get at Celebration, you can do that. It fits right.
Yeah, and there's always a lot of free swag, posters and postcards and that sort of thing. You want to protect those with the binders, with the poster tubes. Frank, thanks again, man, for spending your Wednesday night. Remember, Star Wars StarWarsAutographNews.com or on Facebook. Remember, the big news drops tomorrow about the after signing.
It's a cool announcement. We'll see what it is. I wouldn't probably a safe bet, but we'll see. Something cool is coming from
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. And Kevin Lyle, thank you for tuning in. Thank you to all my Patreon members tuning in. And before I let you guys go, I want to do the name draw, not the bad guy tin, but the good guy tin. You guys are going to win the Kevin Lyle Force Within Us poster that he created for us, signed by myself, along with a Machtails from the Cantina live from Unsung Brewing at Celebration. Tyler Page is not tuning in live. Tyler Page is not tuning in live. Otherwise, he would be here. Remember, you have to tune in live for the name draw. Brian Klein? Is my brother Brian Klein out there? Is he? I know he's probably got the poster, and he's going to be part of the show. Let's do another one. Let's give somebody else a chance. Glenn Nelson Glenn Nelson. I'm going to do one more, and then we're going to save it for tomorrow. Remember, tune in tomorrow. Sean and I will be talking about Celebration 5, 6, and 7. And on Friday, we'll be doing 7, 8, and 9. Last chance for a winner is going to be Jeremy Hennenberg. Jeremy Hennenberg. That is it. All those names were pulled. They were not tuning in live. They are going back into the name draw jar, hopefully for tomorrow. Guys, thank you again. Remember, the force will be with you always. Morgen die Macht mit dir sein. Be well, be safe, and we will catch you guys next time on... He's got that poster signed by Warwick. Warwick Davis. I've never had anybody interrupt my outro, but that's a good one, Kevin. Remember, guys, we will catch you. Tune in tomorrow. We'll see you next time on Mocktails from the Cantina. Chut, chut, and choo, choo. So long, everybody.